I don't really want Living Gate to carry a message or, wave any flags or anything like that. So it has a very observational feel to it.
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy at GhostColdMag.com. I am super excited to be joined by Levy of Living Gate and, of course, Visual Dude. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I hope I said that partially correct because I practiced a lot and it probably was wrong.
It was pretty close.
It was close.
I've heard a lot worse.
Well, at least I could say I've seen one of those two bands personally twice. And so I'm very excited about this brand new Living Gate record. This is our first time chatting about this band. So, of course, I know this is the first full length record coming out on Relapse Records. And obviously, there's a crossover of members from other bands, but how did this particular band form? I know it was, we've had a couple of smaller releases until now.
Pretty. I think the idea kind of originated with me and Leonard, the other guitarist, and well, Wim as well. Basically, the three of us just always kind of fantasizing about one day we'll try and do a death metal kind of thing. Um, but we're all, like you said, we're all in different bands and kind of bigger bands as well who demand, some focus and some attention from time to time. um but I think in around, a bit before 2020, I don't know, just I had some time, and all three of us had some time, and we started writing some death metal tunes. Not even really having a bass player at the time, but like right around or a little before that period, me and Wim went on tour with Wiegeduld with Job for a month, so we got to know Aaron. Later on, me and Leonard went on tour with Job in the US with Amon-Ra, so he got to know him as well. Um, and we'd always be nerding out about death metal and just heavy music in general. And I don't know, the idea kind of grew in my head, at least, to just ask Aaron if he wanted to be the bass player in Living Gate. We didn't even have a name back then, and he was super excited, and yeah, the ball just kind of started rolling from there.
Nice. Aaron is one of my favorite people in all of music. I saw him last about a year ago. Speaking of people, if you ever want to meet somebody to nerd out about old school metal with, Aaron has an encyclopedic knowledge of all music, especially metal, and heavier metal. Yob is wonderful and extremely heavy, but like he'll go deep on like bands. I think I know a lot about music, and he'll surprise me with stuff he knows about.
Yeah, he definitely kind of has this encyclopedic. Is that a word?
It is
He
now.
has that kind of mind for sure. Yeah, and it's great every time he's over here or we get together. We're constantly just in the car driving to a rehearsal or to the studio or anything. It's always just a good back and forth of, oh, this, and you got to check out this. So it's always a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Fun is the number one thing. I know we're in an interesting era where we can have like a lot of collaborations, and groups used to not be this way. Used to be bound by record labels, and record labels would frown on you. Oh, please don't make another band with somebody else and take time away from the thing. But
Mhm.
Living Gate is so much fun. It has been the EP was so much fun, and just everything about it, the logo, the album artwork, and these songs are so just heavy and old school. It really gave me a big charge.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we all enjoy the riff salad. You know what I'm saying? The more riffs you can put into a song, I'm happy. And
That's
yeah,
okay.
what a killer record! I got to listen to this a few times. Getting ready to chat with you. Obviously, look, you have this thing as a side project, apart from other major bands that you're all in. But obviously, it's a fully fleshed band. I think that's probably the point we're trying to get across here is that it is a whole band.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it feels like that more than ever with the record coming out, because when the EP first came out in 2020, that was about I think 10 days before, COVID restrictions got enforced over here in Belgium. And I think, yeah, the rest of the world was right about the same time. So, yeah, the EP kind of got lost in that chaos. And it feels really good to kind of have another shot at it with this full length album, and it yeah, it feels like we made this more as a band than we did with the EP, because when we wrote the EP, like me, Wim, and Leonard, we recorded our parts, sent them over to Aaron, so we weren't even in the same room and everything. But this time around, Aaron flew over. We were all in the same studio for 10 days, like being completely focused on this record. So yeah, and now we get to. I think Aaron is landing in about 12 hours or something. So that's going to be great to see him again, and we'll start rehearsing for the tour that starts in 6 days. Yeah.
Right on. I know up until now it's only been a handful of shows of Damnation Festival, which we covered and was like very talked about, to be able to see the band live and those things. So this is very exciting. I think for fans, and it's just great to have, I think for people who know your other material and are maybe just going to discover the band now or have been waiting for this release, I think it's a welcome change from the music they're used to having you personally make, right, and the other members.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's definitely it's a very. I mean, death metal is a very niche subgenre of heavy music, and there's not a lot of influences from any of our other bands that creeped in there, because it's so specific, and it's so, we're not drawing a lot of the atmospheric vibe from Amun Ra or Yob, or it's a whole different kind of beast, and yeah.
Right on. As you were getting ready to create this work in the last few years, do as you're making music, do you come across things like that would be a good idea for Living Gate? You save that, or do you just did the guys kind of collectively write specifically for this release? Like this is the music we're gonna make just for this.
Like I think I'm going to speak for myself, but I think it's the same for Leonard and Aaron. That again, like the death metal subgenre is so kind of specific and niche on its own. It has such a typical sound that I always like everything that I wrote for the album. I always knew it was going to be for Living Gate, and I was never in a situation where I'm like, ooh, is this a Living Gate riff or a vehicle riff? It was always very, very clear that it would be one or the other, And mostly when I write music, it's always pretty clear. I also start with the intention of writing for a specific band or for a specific song. So it's always pretty clear, yeah.
Fantastic. Did you say earlier this record was completely recorded in 10 days? It sounds like it was made over months and months. It sounds so good. I don't know if you did a lot of pre-production or you were really dialed in with the material when you went in to record everybody together, but it sounds great.
Thank you, thank you. There was, I mean, because Aaron is in a different time zone and everything. We had to exchange ideas a bit amongst the Belgian side and the US side. Just doing like with rehearsal phone recordings and everything, and so Aaron would know what we were working on, and then Aaron had some riffs as well that he forwarded to us, and we kind of dug in as well and worked on it. And so I think the main interesting part about it is the fact that Aaron came over to record the album with us, and but we didn't. I think we had 4 days to rehearse before we went into the studio. Of course, yeah, we tracked drums first, so Aaron still had some time, and he's very focused as well. He would he stays over at my place, and every night he was going over parts and trying out stuff, and bouncing ideas off me, and so yeah, it's a short amount of time, I think, but we're very productive and focused if we're writing. And if you have a deadline. We always set out deadlines for ourselves because it's if you don't, it doesn't happen, and sometimes it gets a bit tight. But also good to have a deadline to work towards.
Right on. I love some of these song concepts and titles. I don't try to get too much into what I think the lyrics are or mean without a lyric sheet, but I did want to ask, what were some of your, lyrical inspirations for this as opposed to, some of the other material you work on?
Well, I think with Living Gate, I kind of had more of an observational approach to the lyrics. I kind of mostly wrote about what I saw happening around me, be it kind of just being scared of how fast technology is developing and what it's doing to the world and everything, stuff like that. Even small political nuances, but never really without taking a stance or anything. I don't want to. I don't really want Living Gate to carry a message or wave any flags or anything like that. So it has a very observational feel to it, whereas where I write with what I write for Vigidor has more of a I take more of a look inside and inwards. There's more emotional aspects involved and everything. But I left those out of Living Gate because it's not very emotional. It's not a very emotional record. So yeah, I would call it if I had to describe it in one word, I would say observational. Yeah.
Well, what a relief and how refreshing that is in this day and age when people cannot wait to tell you their feelings and emotions on things and lead with their emotions instead of their rationale. So thank you. And what a record I can really sink my teeth into as opposed to knowing wasn't that a better world when we didn't know what everybody thought about everything?
Oh man, that's kind of the reason as well where I didn't want to. There's everybody has an opinion and everybody wants his opinion to be heard, and there's definitely pros to that, but there's also a lot of it's the internet is just a huge mess of people debating without knowledge or I don't want to pile on top of that. I don't think I'm in a position to speak about certain things, and I don't have the knowledge to speak about certain things. I can only kind of put forth what I see and what I notice around me, but I'm not in a place to pass judgment on anything or anyone or force my opinion onto anybody.
Hey, fair enough, and thank you. Otherwise, we'll all feel like the skeletons on the album artwork, which I
Exactly.
love. By the way, I love that artwork. It's so cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to get a vinyl on this because it's so awesome looking. Like the colors, the choices there. What a fantastic piece of artwork this thing is.
Yeah, he did a really good job, and it really. I mean, mostly it's like that, but it's even cooler when you get to actually hold the vinyl and see it in print and have the physical object there. I mean, there's so much more you can focus on the details so much more, and there's a lot of them in there that maybe kind of get lost on a little thumbnail in Spotify. Uh, so yeah, we're very happy with how that turned out, and having Pink in there and everything. Just very not death metal stuff in there, opposed to very typical death metal stuff. I like the clash between those two in the artwork.
Right on. I always love the Death Spiritual Healing album cover, not because of the ironic artwork, but also like the pastels on purpose. Like I think it was a
Right.
choice. I don't think it was an accident.
Yeah, I've mentioned that album in a previous interview. I think when we were talking about the colors of the record. So yeah, love that album and love that artwork.
Right on. It's so distinctive and stands out across everything else from that era that was just blood and gore and craziness and those early classic old school death metal records from all across the world. Everybody's records back then were kind of like monotone and very
Mhm.
gory. And then here's this record that's just like, hey, think a little bit. This is really
Yeah,
clever.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Just
what I like about it.
exactly. Just for the last few things, obviously you have this run of dates and two festivals coming up before the release on Relapse Records, October 25th. So this will probably run after that comes out. But what else do you have in the works? Are there any more shows we can expect for 2025? Obviously, you have other bands and tours and festivals we haven't heard announced yet, probably.
Uh, well, we kind of have to. The plan is to make a plan when Aaron is here, because, like you said, we have so many bands that demand our attention and that have an agenda of their own, and it's hard to kind of puzzle with them from time to time. We're already kind of happy that we got to the point where we got everybody in a studio for 10 days, and now we can tour and support the album for about 2 weeks. So it's nothing's written in stone yet, but we wouldn't want this to be like the only tour we do on this record. So we'll definitely try everything in our power to maybe do another European tour. We hope to make it to the US one day, but that's yeah, that has even more ports we gotta jump over with visas and everything for the three of us over here in Belgium. So yeah, we still gotta look into some stuff, but the will is definitely there.
Hey, Maryland Death Fest, we're looking in your direction. This would be the right, help these guys get over and get over here, give them a purpose, and then we can, and then we can get a tour around the festivals here. That would be amazing.
That would be great. Yeah, I've always wanted to play Maryland Death Fest. I've never made it over there, even though like every time when we tour the states with Wigeduld, like our base is kind of in Baltimore. We have a friend there who hooks us up with a place to stay, and he stocks our backline and everything. He's just the greatest guy ever.
Right on. We all need our support system. Just one last question, and I'll let you be on your way to the rest of your interviews today. I can't let this opportunity pass. Not that you're necessarily the only voice on this band, but a lot of people love Oathbreaker, and I'm a huge fan of that band. And I know everybody has kind of gone their separate ways, Caro, and everybody is busy with different projects. Do you think we will see Oathbreaker again?
I can't say. I really can't say. I wish I had an answer for you, but who knows? It's not in my hands, at least. But yeah, I don't know. It's a huge question mark.
No worries. I felt like I got an opportunity with one of you. I had to ask the question. Please forgive me.
No problem, no problem. I understand.
I'm such a big fan. I really, everyone who knows me knows this. So hey, Levy, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate you. Congratulations on the Living Gate record, and best of luck on the tour and the festivals.
Thank you so much. Thank you very
All right,
much.
we'll see you soon.